What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we're going to be covering the Chase Ink Business Cash Card. So jumping into things, the annual fee for this card is about $0, and then the sign-up bonus is a two-stage sign-up bonus. They just switched this recently. The first part is it's $350 in cash back after $3,000 spend in the first 3 months, and if you do another $3,000 spend in the first 6 months, you'll get an extra $400 cash back. So in total, the sign-up bonus is about $750 cash back after $6,000 spend in the first 6 months of opening the card. And all that would equal about 75,000 points, and not to mention, they do usually have an elevated sign-up bonus that would equal 90,000 points or a little bit more after hitting the minimum spend, and that's usually 1 or 2 times a year. Also, this card does come with a 0% APR interest period for the first 12 months of opening the card. So for earnings rates, you're going to earn 5% cash back up to first $25,000 spent on office supply stores, internet, cable, and phone services. You'll also get unlimited 5% cash back in all Lyft rides. Then you'll earn 2% cash back up to $25,000 spent on gas stations and restaurants. And then lastly, 1% everywhere else. So for the benefits of this card, it comes with some travel and purchase protections, car rental and travel and emergency protection services, roadside dispatch, purchase protection, warranty protection, and no foreign transaction fees. And best part is if you have a different card, such as the Chase Ink Business Premier or a Sapphire card, you'll be able to transfer those points into cash back. So what is this card worth? Well, it's a great 5% earner for those categories that I mentioned. If you spend a good amount each month in those categories, I definitely would say this card is worth it. Getting that 5% cash back is really good. Obviously, you do have that $25,000 limit, but it's still pretty good. Other than that, and getting the card for the sign-up bonus and the 0% APR period, the card is pretty much worth whatever you spend on it. So whatever cash back you're earning from that 5% category, the 2% back on gas and restaurants, that's really where you're gonna hit your bread and butter and where you're gonna get some value out of this card. The card doesn't have any of those coupon book style credits, so you don't have to worry about an annual fee, and you can hold on to this card for whatever you need and however long you want, because it gives those 5% cash back and it really doesn't affect your wallet in any way. So moving on to the redemptions, and like I mentioned before, in order to be able to redeem these points, not through the travel portal, but for a transfer partner, you would need to have one of the Sapphire products or the Chase Ink Business Premier. We're gonna assume you have either one of the Sapphire products or the Chase Ink Business Premier, which would allow you also to transfer points over. But either way, you're gonna have around 150 to 200,000 points by the time you're able to transfer these points over. So we're gonna go with that as a baseline of how many points you have. So for this first redemption, we're gonna transfer points over to Air Canada's Aeroplan. And I would say the reason why this is one of the best programs to transfer it over is because you don't get those taxes and fees surcharges that other programs offer. For a business class flight over to Europe, you might get hit with $200-300 in taxes and fees, or even $1,000 if you're flying to the UK. But with using Air Canada's Aeroplan, it's at $100 maximum, most likely going to be $50. So that was just a quick example for a trip from the US to Europe. But for the example we're going to be looking at, it's going to be a trip from Bali to New York in Singapore Airlines business class. This booking can be done for 87,500 points and about $80 in taxes and fees. That's really good coming from Southeast Asia, having a connection and getting all the way to the East Coast of the United States. This flight will cost you probably $5,000 to $6,000 when you factor in round trip fares. And when you go to try to book this through Air Canada's Aeroplanes, it comes out to a $9,000 to $10,000 bill. So if you're able to find 2 one-way tickets from New York to Bali, Bali to New York, this will cost you around 175,000 points and $160. That's pretty good for a business class redemption all the way over to Southeast Asia from the East Coast. Next, we're gonna keep up with the Bali theme. We're gonna try to book a hotel there. This one's gonna be a little outside of the normal area I think people go. I think people go to Canggu and some other places. This is gonna be a little outside of that. And I would recommend transferring your points over to Hyatt because that's gonna be your best hotel program in terms of point value. And the hotel we'll be booking is the Alila Mangus, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. And this hotel in off-peak pricing is 3,500 points a night or $114 per night. I'll get you a really nice 3.25 cent per point value for your points, which is way higher than Travel Portal can get you. And to get the cent per point value, you take the cash rate, divide it by the taxes and fees. For this example, there are none, and then divided by the points amount. And moving on to our last redemption, we're going to look at maybe not a sweet spot, but just a good way to get to Australia from the US. I mean, I just think this redemption is a great value in money and just shows you how United miles can be really useful when you have to take these super long haul trips, especially with 2 people and you don't want to book just basic economy. So like I mentioned, we're going to be transferring points over to United for a trip from Cleveland to Melbourne round trip for 2 people in premium economy. For this booking, 70,000 points will book you all the way through from Cleveland to Melbourne for 1 person, 1 way each. So if you multiply that by 4, since you have 2 people going a round trip, you're gonna have total come out to 280,000 points. And then the taxes and fees are only $233. That's pretty good. And you're getting a 3.39 cent per point value on United miles, which is really, really good. Especially when you're transferring from Chase, you wouldn't normally recommend transferring them over there, but that's how good that United redemption can be, and especially because you can take advantage of their excursionist perk. I know it's not part of this example, but say you wanted to go visit Perth. You can fly over to Melbourne and then into Perth. If you book a separate flight from Melbourne to Perth with a partner airline, that'll cost you $0 more in miles, maybe like $50 more in fees. But then you'll be able to book your final flight from Perth back to Cleveland and it'll cost you maybe 7,000 miles more. So in total, if you had 14,000 miles to the total trip, you're gonna get an extra city. And I would say that's really worth it because Perth is about 4 or 5 hours away from Melbourne, which is an extremely long itinerary, but hey, if it works for you, it's great value for your points. So now we're gonna move on to my thoughts on what I think of this card. Well, I like this card. It's got a solid small business earnings structure to it. The 5% categories are geared towards business spend and the 2% categories are also geared towards, I guess, customer acquisition or business spend for that, which would be great for a small business that's just starting. I do wish that they weren't limited to $25,000, but I understand that because the annual fee is $0. Overall, I do think this would be a great card for small businesses that are just starting up, have to acquire customers, get that advantage of the 2% cash back, and then you have all the office supply stores, cell phones, stuff like that. It's kind of like a great sales card for a company that's starting in sales. That's what I think it would be good in. Obviously, you don't have any marketing spend bonus multipliers, but you can get that with another card or whatnot. But this would be good for sales, stuff like that, something where you're on the road a little bit of the time and purchasing internet, stuff like that. And not to mention, the sign-up bonus is pretty good. Okay, I like the 2-part sign-up bonus because you at least are able to get something, you're at least able to get half the points instead of it's either all or nothing. You're getting at least half if you can't hit that total minimum spend of $6,000 in 6 months. I think it's nice that they did that. And I think it just helps smaller businesses that maybe won't hit the total spend over a 6-month period. If they can push some expenses forward, they're able to at least hit half that sign-up bonus. Also wish they would increase the annual allowances for those spend multipliers. Maybe not 25,000, but 50,000 I think would do business a lot better. Maybe add a $45, $95 annual fee, especially if you're raising that stuff, because I understand the economics of that. Maybe even see if you can see how high they can go with adding a maybe at most $95 annual fee. See if they can get to 75, maybe 100,000 and spend maximum for those categories. And for some businesses, that would be worth it. Maybe having it as an option to upgrade to that type of card. Other than that, I would say this is a good card to use, especially if you're a small business. And there's not much else to say. So with that being said, what do you think? Did I miss anything? Did I get anything wrong? Did I get anything right? What do you think of this card? Also, if you have this card, let me know down in the comments below. And if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.